India's strength is not just the number of soldiers it has, nor is it limited to tanks and artillery. India's real power today lies in its strategic thinking, technological capability, and long-term vision. There was a time when India assessed its security by calculating the missile ranges of other countries. Today, that same India is building its own integrated rocket and missile force. This is not speculation. This is not based on leaked reports. This was officially confirmed by the Chief of the Indian Army himself. During a press interaction, senior journalist Manjeet Negi asked a critical question about the future of warfare. He asked how the Army views the growth of drone forces over the next 4 years, how many drones the Army plans to induct, and what the long-term plan is for missile forces, because drones and missiles are expected to define future wars globally. This was not a question about numbers. It was a question about the future of war. And the answer came straight from the core of India's military strategy. The army chief clearly stated that India does require a missile force, and the answer is an unequivocal yes. He explained that rockets and missiles are no longer separate concepts. If the objective is to deliver impact at range, both rockets and missiles serve that purpose. That is why India is now moving toward an integrated rocket missile force. He pointed out that Pakistan has already raised a dedicated rocket force under its army, and China has long had the PLA rocket force. Given this reality, the army chief said it is now a strategic necessity for India to develop a similar capability. He highlighted systems like Pinaka, which has already been tested up to 120 kilometers. India has already signed contracts for rockets with a range of 150 kilometers, with plans to extend that range to 300 and even 450 kilometers in the future. He also referenced systems such as Pralay and, of course, BrahMos, while indicating that additional advanced systems are in development. This statement makes India's new military thinking unmistakably clear. India no longer views rockets and missiles as isolated tools. The Indian army is no longer focused only on fighting at the border. It is now preparing for deep strike capability, targeting enemy assets far beyond the front lines. The concept of deep strike doctrine is no longer just theory. It is now operational reality. This is not diplomatic signaling. This is strategic reality. Both Pakistan's rocket force and China's PLA rocket force are already positioned with India in mind. India is no longer willing to remain behind. The Army Chief's disclosure confirms that India is actively expanding rocket ranges up to 450 kilometers. That range puts enemy airbases, logistics hubs, command centers, and missile depots well within India's strike envelope without crossing the border. This is modern warfare. Fast, technology-driven, decisive. Wars today aim for outcomes early, not prolonged engagements. An integrated rocket missile force gives India a first night, first strike advantage, a critical edge in any future conflict. While today's focus is on missile forces, drones and missiles will function as a single ecosystem. Drones will identify targets, rockets will deliver area saturation, missiles will conduct precise, decisive strikes. This is the modern warfare triangle. What we witnessed today was not just a military update, it was a clear message. India will no longer wait. India will no longer remain limited to reaction. India is now a nation that decides and executes. The rocket missile force represents India's strategic mindset. Peace is our preference, but strength is our identity.